failure is not an option. You're going to make sure you do everything possible to make sure it's going to succeed. But again, it's not the hours that you're in the office. There's hours that you're working on the business, not in the business.
Welcome back to the Retire As You Desire podcast. And today we have Dr. Anthony Vuckovich joining us from good old Frankfort, Illinois, where both of us grew up. I've known Anthony, Tony, the man, the myth, the legend for quite a long time now, for many, many years. We went to grade school together, high school together. Yeah. And I had to have him on as a guest because I'm so impressed with his journey. So thank you for being here on the show.
All right. Honored to be here. Appreciate it.
So let's talk about our childhood. All right. We've known each other for a very, very long time. And now you've grown into a super successful entrepreneur, new offerings. You have your own chiropractic company. It's just incredible. Did you think you wanted to become an entrepreneur and a business owner when you were a kid?
Probably not when I was a kid. I always knew I wanted to help people. So the whole journey of getting into chiropractic was all about helping people. But in terms of owning a business and knowing what that entails, I wouldn't say at a young age I knew that. My parents really instilled like hard work in me. That's something my dad, I'm one of 7 kids. So my dad, worked really hard supporting the family. I think he always wanted to go out and start his own business or have his own entrepreneurial goals that kind of got pushed aside with, just raising children and making sure he's providing for them. So that was kind of set in the back of my mind when I was younger, but then life happens and I was able to, as I grew up and got in my profession, had the opportunity to make that leap. And stressful, but I'm glad I did it.
Oh, it's always stressful. There's always things happening, right?
Yeah.
And the story that you told me when I asked you quite a few months ago, like, how did you get into becoming a chiropractor? How did that happen for you?
All right. So I was a athletic kid. I did a lot of sports, but in college I got into cheerleading. So I was a collegiate cheerleader at Bradley University, and then got really into working out. Wasn't something, because Bill, you knew me growing up, I was not into working out, not into fitness and weight training. In college, I kind of found that passion. So I was actually thinking about doing physical therapy. That was the goal of where I thought my profession was going to take me. And then with an injury with cheerleading, I had a girl land on my neck, caused a brachial compression in my shoulder. I actually lost function in my left arm for a month. And it wasn't through going to PT, MRIs, going to doctors, that nothing really worked. I went to a chiropractor, and within a few weeks, I got full range of motion back, full strength. And that kind of set me on the path of chiropractic as a career.
Now, that's incredible, because when you actually see the power of helping someone and allowing it to motivate you, allow you to go out and create your own, huge financial future from this, and freedom, really freedom. What has that done for you, both mentally, spiritually, physically? I know you've done a ton of bodybuilding. You've done exceptionally well with that. But what has that done for you overall from your confidence standpoint?
Just growing up, people don't put into like what the worth of themselves is. So you put your own time, energy into yourself, and how you look, how you feel, how you dress. That literally extends outward to how you live the rest of your life. So do I love waking up in the morning doing cardio? Do I like meal prepping my meals, taking my supplements, not drinking, doing all those things? It's more fun if you don't do them, but how I feel and how motivational and how I'm living my daily life in terms of my business. I'm a better husband, better father, better business owner, better doctor when I'm taking care of myself. And I think that's one thing people neglect. They get in this grind of going strictly just, they get up, they go to work, take care of their kids, they go to bed. They put themselves last in that totem pole of what the needs are. And it's not everything, yourself doesn't come first all the time. I have 2 kids, I have a wife, businesses, where I am waking up early, going to bed early, trying to make that time to get the me time in to make sure that I'm better at all the other things.
Do you think it's little changes that people could make to improve their lives? Or do you think it takes this big drastic, big plan to really make those changes? What do you think?
Small changes. So my undergrad was in sport and exercise psychology. So I really dove into like how to make changes in your life that are going to be sustainable. So there's this self-determination and motivation theory where people actually set themselves up for failure by going all in too soon. It is very hard to say, all right, I'm going to change my diet, change my working out, do all these things all at once, because it's hard to make them habits. But it is easy to say, you know what, today I'm going to drink more water. Today I'm going for a walk. Today I'm going to cut out all processed foods. So little things over time that you become acclimated to, then you can add it. You can layer that in. It's going to be more acceptable and more able to hold long term than just throwing everything at it at once and seeing what habits stick. So I always recommend, if you're going to go to the gym, great. Start going to the gym 2 to 3 days a week. Do that for 2 weeks. If you want to add in the fourth, that's great. But the people that jump in, say, I'm going 6 days a week, twice a day, dropping my carbs, it's not sustainable.
No,
That's
it's not
everything in life. Yeah.
I've made that mistake a ton of times in my life. I'll be the first person to admit that. You want to do too much too soon and it doesn't work. And I saw a video the other day. This was really fascinating. I'd love to get your take on this. There was a gentleman talking about one of his clients who wanted to lose weight. I don't know how overweight this person was, but this guy went to the gym for 5 minutes.
I saw this video.
You saw it? Yeah. So
did.
I'll tell the story to our listeners. So this blew my mind. I couldn't believe it, but it kind of makes sense. But this gentleman went to the gym for 5 minutes. It was actually 2 minutes, but he spent 5 minutes, did half of an exercise, right? And then he left, and he did it for what, 6 months in a row?
Yeah.
Something like that. Do you think doing something so simple like that is what it really takes to make changes? Because I've seen it in you. I mean, look, for those of you watching on our YouTube channel, Anthony's a buff dude. He takes care of himself. He knows what he's talking about. So what was your take from that video?
So the point of that video was not so much mastering going to the gym. It was the mastering of showing up to the gym. So it was making that a part of your daily life where you can master getting up, making the motivation of getting to the gym. And then eventually you can add how much time you're doing it, how much you're actually working out. But it's just having that as your daily concept. All right, you made it to the gym. That's the hardest part, is just showing up. Same thing with opening a business, any type of hobby or things that you're trying to get into. It's just putting yourself out there.
When you put
if you don't ever show up, when you don't show up, it's never going to happen. So that was just the mastering of showing up and putting yourself in position to do it.
Taking action. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Was there a spark in your life that forced you to show up, to start showing up?
I would probably stem from my dad. You know, he worked really hard and he sacrificed a lot for his kids. And I remember when I got my first job at a moving company, my dad's like, he got me the job and he was like, don't mess this up. And I don't think my dad realized how hard I was going to work. And so I worked at one job moving company, and then I ended up moving on to a different job, to electrical union. And at one point I had 3 jobs working 80 hours a week in the summers to pay for college. And he was just like, why are you working so hard? I'm like, well, I want to go to college and to pay for this. That was on me. My parents weren't able to help me with school. So I think setting me up for, like, I knew where I wanted to be successful in life. I'm not saying I didn't want the life that my parents had, but I'm not saying I went without, but 7 kids, single family home, single income, it was pretty much, you know, my mom stayed home, my dad went to work, didn't have extra vacations, didn't have new clothes all the time, didn't go out by any means. We had a great childhood, but, you know, you grew up in Frankfort too. You look around, some people had a lot of things, some people didn't have as much. So it was a lot of it, making sure I'm putting, but yeah, so I'm more motivated by that as well, that I want to make sure I'm putting myself in, give my family and my kids options that I didn't necessarily have. And I think family sparks that a lot. Like, if I wasn't married with a kid, I don't know if I would have made that jump to being an entrepreneur. That was probably, my office is named Victory Chiropractic after my daughter, Victoria. She was 6 months old and I knew I needed to make changes in my life for my family. Then it was spawned by that.
And looking back, now that she's a couple years old now, she's a big girl, incredible. It's great to see the kids at the office. How do you feel now, knowing that you've made such a big impact on so many people's lives? Because you just had a record month. I mean, how many people did you have come through your doors?
I had about 200 people that week. And
Incredible.
then I think since opening within less than 3 years, close to 1,700 patients have come through the doors. So that's huge. And that's great that I'm able to give back and I'm reaching so many more people through just like referral and just like based on what I've done for other people. They're like, no, you need to see this guy. And that's, great to feel that I'm helping people and they want me to help other people. And through social media, putting content out there, I've extended my reach to people I never thought I would be able to reach, even just like with, videos, giving helpful tips and making little adjustments in people's life without ever meeting them. It's really nice to have that expanded reach.
So would you call yourself a TikTok star? Because I think you are.
No.
So
No. I got lucky and went viral a couple times.
a couple times, more than a couple. I mean, what's that experience been like? Because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. That's like a foreign language to me. You've been viewed how many times on TikTok, some of your videos?
I think my most viral video is like 22, 23 million, a couple of 11 million. Very weird. I remember the first video went viral. I woke up in the morning, I had 100,000 views, and I thought it was creepy that 100,000 people saw me overnight. And then it hit 1 million. And now I think just on a few videos, I think it's like around 35 million on my videos on sleep positions, which is weird. But everyone relates to it. Everyone sleeps. So if I can help give little tips on how to make sure you're not waking up sore, that's great. But yeah, super weird. But again, it's a platform. You're able to help people. Some people use it for comedy, and that's great too. Some people like that sign of escaping from their life and have that moment of laughter. That's great. I'm trying to do health tips and just show the word of chiropractic and how that helps people.
Now, what advice would you give to someone listening to this show who wants to go out and start their own business or become a doctor like you have and do the things that they want to live the life that they've always dreamed of? What advice would you give someone?
It's hard. It's not for everybody. That's okay that it's not for everyone. All right. So there's different types of people in the world. Some people just want to show up, get paid, leave, and they're done. They check out the door. That stress of work is gone. Some people like that. Other people, when I worked in my previous office, my life was I show up, I adjust patients, I take care of it, I work those hours, and I was done. And when I made that jump to being a business owner, it was a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of lack of sleep. I was still working, my full job. And then between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., that's when I did business planning. And that's when I tried to figure out how to finance it, how I was going to run the office, how I was going to make sure I have all the equipment and what my system would be to try to get a loan, which I was not able to get a loan. So it was self-funded pretty much on my gut feeling where I quit my job and I had enough savings to last a few months to pay my mortgage and my car payments. Everything else went on credit cards and prayed that it was work out. If I didn't make money by a certain date, I was in trouble. Luckily, that worked out really well. And, I had a good support system with my wife who was on board because she was still working at the time. My daughter was, I think, 9 months when I quit. It had to work. And that's the thing. If it has to work, it will work. When failure is not an option, you're going to make sure you do everything possible to make sure it's going to succeed. But again, it's not the hours that you're in the office. There's hours that you're working on the business, not in the business. And that takes a lot between balancing family, kids, social life. The hours are long, it's hard, it's stressful. My hairline proves it. But it's
You're preaching to the choir there, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm right behind you. No, the benefits of it long term are great. But again, it's not for everyone. Someone doesn't want the stress of checking emails middle of the night and being stressed that there's a pandemic and you are in a business where you touch people for a living and no one wants to come see you. So you never know what life's going to throw at the situation, and you got to adapt. And the businesses that do well are going to do well all the time because they're going to adapt. I've grown my business almost 100% with a pandemic. And that is just from thinking outside the box. And again, that's why I started social media in terms of marketing, because I figured everyone's at home on their phone. I'm going to be in their face. So whenever their backs go out and they need help, I'm who they're thinking of.
And you have people coming to your office from all over the place. It's not just local Frankfort people. You have people driving hours to come and see you.
I got a couple people every month. They drive, 2.5, 3 hours to come just for a treatment. I had one guy come from New York, found me on Instagram and flew out, made a trip of it with his girlfriend. So yeah, the power of social media is crazy, and able to help a lot of people that way.
Love that. I mean, you have to act. Action creates clarity. Now,
Yeah.
is the stress worth it? I mean, being a business owner, super stressful. I know you just launched a new product and a new offering. So is the stress worth it?
It is. I think it's worth it. My wife may not believe so when I'm always stressing, and she wants the coasting to happen when I'm going to be able to enjoy it, and give it 20 years when I'm retired, then maybe that'll be the time where but I think it's in you. You always want the next thing. You want to keep the business growing. Once you're stagnant, you're done. Someone else is being more innovative behind you. So I'm always looking for the next thing. How I'm going to make my office better. I just expanded on a new chiropractor on. So I'm really excited about that, to get him on his path, his career, and him helping people. We brought in a nurse practitioner to launch an entire IV business out of the office. So IV, vitamin injections, just overall wellness and health, which I think is something that the everyday person hasn't looked into or even known of. So I'm really excited to get that as an option for the everyday person, instead of just the concierge medicine people or the med spa people who offer it, where it's everyday people can make sure they're taking their health in their own hands and making sure they're taking care of themselves on a different level. So super excited to offer all these things. And again, I could just say, oh, I'm a chiropractor, that's what I'm going to do, adjust my people and leave. But again, I'm motivated for more, and I think that's the entrepreneur in you. That's why it's just we're a different breed of people. Yeah.
It's definitely not for everyone, but
No.
the stress is worth it, because in my opinion, you get to see the fruits of your labor. And when you're really affecting other people's lives, when you get that phone call or that email saying how you're really helping someone, it just makes it all worth it. We had a few of those this past week from people who we just started working with. It just warms my heart. It really, really does. And
it makes it easy to go to work when you're helping people.
Oh my God.
If you're working a job and there's no connect of what you're doing, the service that you're offering, and how it's affecting the person on the other end, you don't know what's going on. But when you see from start to finish how that's affecting the person, whether someone coming in not being able to walk, walking out the door feeling great, that's your best referral source. That's a walking billboard that's going to tell everyone how great it was. But yeah, that's the best thing. You're helping people, no matter what field or business that you're in, you're providing a service. Those people are coming to you for a reason. You're filling that need. That's a win.
That's a walking billboard. I'm writing that one down. That's a good one.
Walking billboard.
I love that. Now you're a family man. Family always comes first. I mean, you and I both see eye to eye with that. How do you stay grounded and present and in the moment? I mean, when we're running our businesses, we have our kids running around and family, and we have things to do, and we have meals to cook and the laundry, the whole 9 yards. How do you stay grounded and focused and in the moment with your family?
That's hard. My wife would tell you the first one, I'm not good at it. I try to set my schedule where I don't work Monday mornings. I don't work Friday afternoons. So Monday mornings, I'm at gymnastics with both my kids, making sure I'm spending that time with them. Friday afternoon, I'm taking them to the gym. Sunday, we're doing swim lessons. So I'm making sure there's that playing time, but then it's that conscious effort putting the phone down. We are in a day and age where we are so connected to everything, but sometimes the people you're closest to, you're disconnected to because you're in your phone. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could say that I was absolutely great. As soon as I walk in the door, my phone's up. And it's not the case all the time. Trying to have that conscious effort. But two, just making sure that a certain time is sacred, that you're making sure you're spending time with the family and you're paying attention. You don't get these years back, especially with the little ones. And during the middle of the week's hard. I'm gone pretty much Tuesday morning to Friday afternoon, where I'm in patient hours. I'm there. I get my kids up every morning. I put them to bed every night and make sure that I'm doing bath time, putting them to sleep. But middle of the day, I'm gone. And that's, the reality. My dad did it. He left at 6 a.m., came home at 6 p.m. During the day, he was gone. So it's a little nice that I'm able to have a little more flexibility with my schedule, where I do get to do those things in the middle of the day. And as the kids grow, my schedule needs to change to adapt that, where I'm putting them first and able to make baseball games, volleyball, whatever sports they're doing, where I'm able to make that a priority. But again, it's time planning, making sure that they are a priority because it's easy to, take one more client, take one more phone call, let me answer this email. And they're sitting right there, they're watching. Kids pay attention to everything.
Mhm.
And they know when you're busy and when you're not paying attention to them. So
Oh, they know.
it's,
They definitely know.
yeah, definitely still need improvement myself, working on it.
I think everyone does. During the pandemic, we're at home, we're always on our phone or some sort of media, or computers, we're always
Yeah.
working. And I struggle with that too. I'll be the first person to admit that. One of the things that's helped is, okay, just put the phone in a different room.
Yeah.
Right. Try
I
it
actually
out.
did.
Does
I
that
just got a
work
new
for you?
well, it does. And then like you get sidetracked, you pick it back up. It's that mindless scrolling.
Yeah.
But I did actually, and one thing I did help, I got a new phone. I didn't put email on my new phone. I never
Wow.
logged in.
Oh, okay. Go into that. How did you make that decision not to put email on your phone?
I mean, I probably will go on there. I probably have to, eventually mute notifications, but it was an eye-opening experience this past weekend. I had my wife was out of town with my daughter, so just me and my son for the whole weekend. I realized I got in the office Monday at like 2:00, a couple hundred emails. I'm like, I didn't look at my email at all. Because usually it pops up on my phone, I look as I go, but like the whole email from you about this meeting, I was like, oh, forgot, yeah, it is tomorrow. Like, I haven't checked that in my emails, but no, it was kind of freeing that I wasn't checking every single thing. I get emails from the website. A patient wants to come in, it's 11:00 at night, and part of me is like, what? Why do I need to look at 11:00 at night? No patient really thinks I'm responding at 11:00 at night.
Of course not.
But I want to know about it. So a lot of it's just like delegating properly. Like, all right, my front desk person will take care of that email when she gets there in the morning. I don't need to see it. So that's a little freeing, making those little changes, even if you're taking off notifications so you don't know when they're coming in. Same thing with some of the social media apps. But yeah, I mean, if I wish I could put it with my phone up or maybe have a second phone that has all that stuff, I can get rid of it. But yeah, definitely freeing to remove some of those distractions.
That's amazing. No email. That's one thing I don't do on my phone is have notifications. The push notifications, I turn those off because that would drive me crazy. I'd be all over that. So that was a game changer for me when I stopped doing that. But gosh, no email? Brilliant, brilliant move. So you've grown this successful business. You have an incredible family life, and we're always working to get better. What would you say is like the number one thing that you want to accomplish over the next year or 3 years or 5 years? Like, what's really most important to you right now?
That work family balance. So the next thing, through this business, making money, able to provide for my family. But at the end of the day, I own my job. I don't own a business until I can remove myself from it and still be able to provide. I mean, so otherwise, currently the past 3 years, the office has been in my hands. I have to be there. If I'm not there, I want to go on vacation. I pay for that vacation twice. I pay for the vacation that I'm closed down and what I'm paying on going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's twice as expensive. So again, I did just hire a second doctor, expanding services that are done by other people. So I want to be able to grow the business where I'm helping more people, not necessarily me, but facilitating it through my office. To be able to have that, reducing my hours a little bit, running more of the management side of it, still seeing my patients that I love and care about to help me grow this office, but owning more of a business instead of just your job. Because that's the thing, a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, they own their job.
Mm-hmm.
They're not to the point where they're scaling it to the point where they can take a day off and not cost them money.
That's so true. I've seen that so many times with entrepreneurs who I've spoken to and the people at Strategic Coach and the different business owners who I, really collaborate with and talk to frequently. They get in their own way. They think they have to do everything. And the reality is, us as entrepreneurs, we need to be doing the least amount of things possible and have the right people in the right place.
Like, you have to be able to scale on like what you love to do. I love treating patients. I'm going to treat patients.
Yep.
Do I like social media? No. Do I post anything? No. I hire people to do that. I shoot content. I tell them what I want it to be. But I have a team of people that take care of that. They're able to do it way quicker, way better than I'm able to do. Than me trying to make a post myself and spend an hour and it's going to look like crap compared to someone who's good at that to take care of it. So a lot of it's delegating and making sure, here's a list of 10 things. These are 3 things I love. These things I don't like. These things I hate. And have other people take care of them. I mean, at first I did everything. Now you get able to get a little bit more freedom. You can have something delegated off where you're not having to be the one answering all the emails, answering all the phone calls, doing all the billing. All those things can be outsourced to make sure that what I like to do in terms of treating patients and, expanding and thinking outside the box. I always tell everyone I work with, I'm big picture. I have an idea what I want. We'll get there. I'm not always sure. It may look like this by the time I get there, but overall, it'll get there eventually. But yeah, just having those big ideas and making sure you figure out a way to go get them.
Love that. Now, Tony, this is one question that I ask everyone when we're wrapping up the show. What does money mean to you?
Money mean to me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I would say opportunity.
Ooh, that's a new one. Okay. I love this.
Opportunity. So when I tried to open this business, didn't have anything. Couldn't get a loan for it. Literally just credit card, savings, trying to make it work. Cutting corners, trying to price wise. It was literally, you see like pictures of my office when I first opened, it was a table in a room, and that's about it. And now the more money you make, the more opportunity you have to be set financially free, to help more people. You are able to leverage your income to make different things happen in terms of real estate investing. It gives you more opportunity to get you where you want to go. I always say, it takes money to make money. And sadly, that is the truth. But you got to get to that point where you find your niche, you're able to build it, be profitable. And then the more money you make, the more you're able to have the opportunity to provide for yourself, others, and give yourself the future that you want.
That was a great answer. Really, really great answer. And for those listeners who want to see your TikTok videos and connect with you, where can our listeners find you, Dr. Vuckovich?
All right. TikTok, it's Victory Chiropractic, Anthony Vuckovich. Instagram is Victory_Chiropractor. On Facebook, there's a YouTube channel as well, Victory Chiropractic in Frankfort. So.
Incredible. Incredible. So you've been a great guest. Thank you so much for sharing your story and being so inspirational. And as a friend, I really appreciate you. Really, really do. And I'm sure that you're going to get a lot more views on your TikTok from this. I hope so. That's what I
appreciate it.
But thank you so much for tuning in to the Retire As You Desire podcast. Make sure you tune in every Monday and Thursday for new episodes with great guests, just like Dr. Vuckovich. Thank you again for being here, my friend.
All right. Appreciate it, Bill. Good talking to you.